Hey, besties. Let's throw some shade, honey. You ready to get into it? So I just Watch What Happens Live with the girl from SNL. Her name is Chloe. And Mary M. Cosby was on, and I was happy to see her, honey, because her wig was bomb. The color, the cut. I just wished her bangs were a little shorter because they were sitting on her eyelashes. So every time she blinked, the bang is moving. I just wished, of course, she wasn't going to move the hair, but I wish they were just a tad bit shorter so we didn't have to see the hair moving with the eyelash. But they're on here, and Chloe is not here for Bronwyn, or Brittany. We understand that, but she's not here for Bronwyn. And Mary just said on the reunion how we love Bronwyn. She's a fan favorite because she's so transparent. Now Mary on Two-Faced herself on here agreeing with Chloe, like, oh, Chloe doesn't like Bronwyn because she said, she stir up too much mess, and she's kind of fake, and the diamond purchase was fake, and she's just fake. And Mary just over there like, co-signing, just siding with her. And then she would say, oh yeah, she lied about that jewelry. She lied about purchasing it. And it was like, you weren't saying none of that while you were sitting next to her on the couch at the reunion. Then when it started, Andy was giving her props for her and Meredith, getting through their little bumps in the road with their friendship. And she looking like, yeah, okay. She, giving that vibe. And it's like, you just told Meredith how much you love her. You gave her a good old hug. And what is up with you? Like, I like Mary, but I'm not liking her in this moment. Okay. Not in this moment. She got me like, ugh. But I will not take any credit away from her son. Robert Jr., kudos to you, young brother. You are magnificent. You are bold, strong, and just smart and eloquent, and you have a purpose in life. You are amazing, an amazing human being to be bold enough to get on this camera, have them come in your room as real can get on reality TV. We saw you high. We saw you compromised. We saw you in outer space. Your brain was gone. You and that girl in the bed, high as a kite. And you told your mother the truth. You opened up and you told your mother, just how you even just worded how life is just like unseasoned chicken, and the substance is the seasoning. It's just like your cry for help will help others. And you and your mother are great. You guys are great, because I don't know too many people that would have shared that on national TV. So kudos to you. And welcome, besties. You are now behind the shade, and thanks for joining me. I review your favorite reality shows weekly. Now let's kiki and haha, because we can this week, and get into another episode of The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. It is season 5, episode 18, and this is part 2 of the reunion. Next week, part 3, the final, and Brittany will grace the stage at part 3 of the reunion. But right now, we got the husbands, and we're gonna get into it. Just drop down in the comments, besties, and let me know what you thought about tonight's episode. Yes, I am throwing this review out. I just finished watching it, reviewed it. Watch what happens live. I looked for some after show clips, didn't see any. Really ain't tripping, because it's 11:03 here in California, and it's time to almost wind up and go to bed. Please don't forget to like this video, and please make sure you subscribe to my channel and make sure your notification bell is on so that you know each and every time I post my content. Now, child, let me put my phone on mute because my cousin is texting me about my birthday weekend. Okay, so Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. We stopped. The last week ended where Seth was. No, it wasn't Seth. That was John. I wrote Seth. It was John. John was trying to check the Todd father, honey. Number one, pipe down, John. Todd father is old enough to be your father. Have some respect, okay? But he was telling him to watch his tone. Remember, Todd was like, "You watch your tone. I will not watch my tone. You watch your tone." And he should have said it, "Don't interrupt me when I'm talking." So, um, John gonna say face, and he's like, "Well, you got to watch your tongue because this is a friendly environment." And then he gonna whisper to whoever he was sitting next to. I don't know. I'm gonna assume it was Justin or Seth. And anyway. I don't even. It don't matter. He gonna whisper, "Where's security? Ha ha ha!" And I was just like, John is such a Karen. He been hanging around Lisa for way too long. Where's security? Just like a white boy looking for the help, trying to get somebody in trouble, snitching. Child, I didn't find it funny at all. So moving on, Andy compliments Todd, the Todd father, for the way he protects and loves Gwendolyn, that's Bronwyn's daughter, how he protects her and how they are letting her choose how to handle things with her grandparents. But he is like, he said, if you nuck, I'll buck when it come to Gwendolyn, okay? We love that for them. Lisa still telling Bronwyn that she apologized and her intentions were good. Blah, 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 blah. So the number one question, Andy straight cut it off. Okay, well, such and such from somewhere else wants to know, Angie, why are you holding Meredith accountable for the gay rumors? All she said was there were some rumors out there, but you never hold Whitney accountable for getting Monica to spill the rumor on camera. Angie's like, she knows there were some off-camera conversations about her. She can't prove it, but she's willing to move on. Well, Meredith is like, well, you spent 2 years accusing me and talking about me. Then Sean told Meredith, well, you said Monica can take our home. Meredith says they talk negative about her renting Airbnbs. And so Andy was like, "And what's negative about that? You do rent Airbnbs, right?" So she's like, "Yeah, we learned then that Meredith only lives in Utah during the winter." She said half the year. So she rents Airbnbs when she comes to Utah. But I wanted to know, where do you spend the rest of your life at? Where does Meredith live? Where is her permanent address? I bet you it's a P.O. box. But being that Seth goes to Ohio, it doesn't sound like she lives in Ohio. Where does Meredith live? I have a question. Do I need to send my question in for next week? So Angie was like, well, what's negative about that? Okay, you come to Utah, you film half the year, you do the show. And she said, well, the way they say it, it's nasty and shady. Girl, bye. Not Meredith, let's not pretend like you don't talk about people, boo-boo. Let's not pretend. Okay, so then they're like, well, why did you expect an apology from Sean when you leverage Brooks, his being gay experience, male on male preference, so you wouldn't be scrutinized for the false accusations about Sean being gay, right? And cheating on Angie. She was like, I didn't make those allegations. Angie says the gay podcaster said she did and used her son's, preference as leverage to make it seem, it would be a good defense for her after trying to out Sean for being gay. Andy asks, is this what y'all was fighting about? She was like, yes. And he was like, well, it seemed like it's a big waste of time. And then Meredith's like, well, I don't know, Andy, if that's how you feel. So Meredith said, he gaslit me and then denied saying it, talking about the podcaster. Andy asked Sean, did he think she started this rumor? And he's like, no disrespect to her son and the community, in the alphabet community, Sean is a hairstylist. He does gay people's hair. He is the last one to be going against that. You know what I'm saying? They got to look good, and a stylist has to make them look good. Like child, okay. So okay. He said, no disrespect to your son, but it seems like, Meredith and Monica has something to do with it. They can't prove it, but yeah, that's where it leans towards. And it's so funny how Monica ain't even in this season. We ain't seen Monica, and we still talking about that girl. They need to bring her back. They do. But who should go? Besties, who should go? Who should go? Because Brittany is just a friend of. Should Bronwyn go? No. Like I said last week, we need Monica and Bronwyn to get the party started. So you know what? Brittany can leave. And Monica could just come back as a friend of. We already know her story. She got a couple of daughters. Her and her mama don't get along. The mama always taking a car when she get mad. We don't need to know all that. And she still got issues from being married and blah, blah, blah. So yeah, she can come back as a friend. Okay. And so they think, okay, so Sean thinks that Meredith and Monica has something to do with it, and she's backpedaling, like she always do. But he didn't really know Meredith at the time, so he just like, yeah, she probably said it. But it sounds like he could kind of go ahead and just give her grace. Lisa said she went to Meredith and said, you shouldn't have said that. And she said, I schooled her. You ain't, girl, shut up. You schooled who about what? You girl, you need to be schooled. Child, please. But okay, you got that. So Monica told Angie that Meredith said it, and then said Monica took it back and said it wasn't Meredith. And I was like, wait, what? So the control room had to butt in, and then they said that Angie is correct. Meredith did announces that she's getting angry because how y'all sitting here gonna butt in, and then Angie, you gonna believe what the control room is saying versus what I'm telling you. I didn't say it. Why would I be saying that? I have a gay son. I ain't got no rights to be talking about nobody. I deal with it, in house, So she keeps telling them over and over that Monica said it. So then they said she said it, and she said it on camera. And then on camera, she said that Meredith didn't say it. Oh, okay. So Monica admitted it was her that did it. Meredith is standing up, and she talking about, I'm finished. The only reason why I came on was not for this. That's what she said. Angie and Andy are like, no, sit down. Don't do that. We said okay. We said okay. You didn't say it. Seth stands up with Meredith because he has to. And I'm like, Meredith, you can leave. I finally got to get her. Meredith, you can leave. You and Seth can leave. And so Meredith said, I ain't sitting back down till y'all play the tape back. Play it where that girl said she said it and I didn't, or I'm leaving. So they're like, okay. Sean tells Meredith to stay and let's resolve this. Mary says to stay too. So then, child, they finally find the tapes. They replay the footage. There's two different clips of Monica switching up her story and lying all at the same time. But never once did she say Meredith's name. Meredith's name didn't even come up. So Andy says he's agreeing with her. Like, we're agreeing that you cool. Sit your butt down. So Horace said, sit down. And then she thanked Andy for playing the tapes back because she said, you said you was going to play them tapes at the reunion. That's why I'm here. You know what I'm saying? So then they move on and ask about the mob wives fight. John said he was embarrassed for his second reaction when he jumped in front of Justin, jumped all up in his face like he was going to do something. And John, we know you not about that life. You are a Karen. You should have asked for security then. How about that? That would have been a nice time to wonder where security was, boo-boo, for you got mollywopped all over Angie's living room. Whoo! But he did not want to fight. He was just diffusing the situation. Justice said he didn't raise his voice, or at least he didn't think he did. He was just asking what was Whitney lying about, because Lisa was just, how about Lisa was the aggressive one that was howling and screaming? You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all are deflecting. Anyway, he knows he was being aggressive and he apologized to Lisa. But the second time, he just asked a question, and that's why he didn't feel like he was going to apologize to her. He was like, I just asked a question. So he apologized whether he wanted to or not, and he's okay with that. So in Mexico, Whitney said that Lisa and John had a threesome. Whitney said rumor. John was like, never heard that before. Lisa explains calling Sean circle jerks. It was an analogy. Whitney says sorry to John for bringing him into it and talking about their marriage. But you got to go low sometimes when you're dealing with Lisa Barlow. John says, cool, thanks. I accept it. He's so corny. So they was like asking John, why you let Seth call your wife a Bia? A Bia, Bia. So Justin's like, because you know what, that morning I had committed myself to not get involved in any more of this drama. He said, I meditated that morning, but he does regret not speaking up and checking the mess out of Seth. He do regret it. Seth was like, well, you know what had happened was we have been drinking that good old liquor that Todd had there. We have been drinking since 7 a.m. Wasn't nobody forcing no liquor down your throat at 7 o'clock in the morning. He was like, I was aggressive. There's no excuse for that. But he's like, but y'all was talking about my son, and he said, when you say BI, the way he said it, it's like a term of endearment, like saying, what's up, dog? Like he says that. That's what he says. He says that. And I was like, well, we need footage of you calling your homeboys biatches. We need some footage because we don't believe you. I don't think a man, that ain't even something you say to a man. And ain't no man gonna let you call them that. Yeah. Uh-huh. Just like, come on, bro. So Meredith, what did Meredith say? Oh, then Meredith was telling Whitney, but you inserted yourself. So what you trying to say? She deserved it? I guess she was trying to tell her if you would have shut it up, it wouldn't have happened. So Seth continues to say that Angie called his wife a B without the arch. He called her a B-I-T-C-H twice while he been on this stage. And it has a different collation because this is not the term of endearment, not the way Angie has been saying it. You know what I'm saying? And so Sean is over there looking like, oh, well. And so Meredith asked Seth, wait, what? She called me a BIT twice right here today? And she was like, yes. And she said, I missed that. And so they tell Angie, according to Sean, that this is Meredith. Well, according to Sean, that's abusive. So you're an abuser. Ooh, You can leave. I wish Angie would have said that. How about that for abuse? I don't even know if I could say that word. I probably can't. Oh gosh, I need to tighten up. So Todd, what's up with your emotional affair you didn't had on Broadway? Todd said he has not seen the video. He ain't seen the episode. You know he ain't watching these episodes, but he's sure she overshares. And so Heather chimes in to get her credit for rallying hard for Bronwyn. And they was on that boat, and she was like, "You're a wife, and he's not supposed to, just because he can change and switch up at work, he's supposed to turn that off at the wedding and the marriage, and you're his wife, and blah 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 blah." So Brahman is like, "Well, what I was saying was he's not doing the emotional cheating now in real time. What I was really getting at was that I don't feel good enough for Todd." And we're like, "What?" And so she's like, because of things that have happened in my life, like being a single parent, like being ostracized from the church, she just sometimes just doesn't feel whole. So Lisa chimes in and like, maybe Lisa, they said, maybe Lisa can relate to Todd because she's cheated. And so Lisa said, "Yeah, all of y'all on that couch have talked about it and said I cheat and all this and all that." And so, she said, "I just told you that I would support you, but I wasn't going to say nothing badly about Todd." And so then Bronwyn talks about on their 5th anniversary, Todd gave her a 5-carat ring, and each carat represented his new promise to her. And Andy asked, "So what are the promises? Can you tell?" And so Todd said, "Support, love, fidelity, and take care of Gwen." And Bronwyn chimed in and said, "Oh, and transparency. Don't forget that one." He said, "Yes, and transparency." And it seems like since being on this show has probably really improved their marriage, which never happens on these shows. And it seems like they have had some great talks. They have connected. I believe Bronwyn feels whole, and I hope to see them next season. So Meredith and Lisa, they're telling Bronwyn, they were supportive, but Bronwyn didn't see it like that. And she said that's because she was in her feelings, but they cleared it up when they was on the beach. And then, of course, Heather disagrees. And so Bronwyn told her, "It is cleared for me." For me, it's cleared. No one asked you for your 2 cents because you're on this show with no storyline. That's why you have not said everything has come out your mouth has been to defend someone else. Okay. Only thing that you had to talk about was that you changed because you lost weight. You inbred. That still cracks me up. Sorry, Heather. Todd admits that, it's difficult hearing about his life on his TV. He cut it short. He was just like, "It's difficult." And he looked like Andy, like, "Back to you, Andy." It was a big old quietness. And I guess they was waiting for him to say something else. But Todd ain't finna say a whole bunch else. So back to you, Andy. So then Angie and Mary says that they love Bronwyn because she's open about who she is, unlike Lisa. And so, Angie and Lisa go back and forth because Angie made a comment saying she's learned more about Bronwyn, in these last couple of days or whatever, than all the years that she been knowing Lisa. And, her and Lisa used to talk every day. So they go back and forth and back again. Angie can't Oprah Angie to shut up at all. He's like, Oprah. Remember, that's the hush word. Oprah, Bezos, Oprah. They blah, 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 and just Angie just got to keep going. She just got to keep talking. She just could not feel good until she got the last 2 little words out. She just had to say what she had to say. And it makes you wonder, like, whew, Sean, what does she do you like that, bruh? So the question is, Meredith and Seth, what's up with y'all? Y'all together? Y'all open? Or y'all swinging? Y'all live together? Y'all don't? What's going on? So they say they are very much together. They are not open. They are very together and married. They see each other every weekend, sometimes more, sometimes less. But uh, Seth suggests that everybody should commute in their marriage because when they see each other, it's like the first date all over again. It works. It's great. Todd understands because he does a lot of traveling to New York, and he agrees that it keeps everything hot, steamy, fresh going, and you don't do a lot of arguing and not getting along. And then Meredith is like, if anybody's been married for this many decades, they are lying if they say that they have a perfect marriage. It's not perfect. Seth was like, well, we are at the 51% mark, so I'm here to stay. She like 51%. That's it. Yeah, and where do y'all stay? Meredith, where do you live? Can we know where do you live? I think I want to know. Okay, where am I at? Let's see. Okay, let me see. Okay. So then they're like, okay, so Seth, they said you got side pieces. He was like, what? No side chicks. Nope. He said, okay, maybe I have two. But he says he has no side pieces, no side chicks, no side babies, no side mamas, no side nothings. And then Andy tells the guys, thanks for joining us and goodbye. You guys can leave now. On to Mary M. Cosby and Robert Jr. Child, get your tissue because you're gonna start crying. This is where we start crying. Andy tells her it's just been an outpour of love online. All the comments, the fans are connected to Robert Jr. and Mary, and they just appreciate this. And Mary wanted to do this because she knew it would change someone's life. They came together to help him and others. She knew that she knew she would be understood. She didn't know what he was doing at all because they used to be so close. And she said she was shocked when he told her what he was doing. He wanted to go to rehab, she tells us, because he was at a crossword. Oh, sorry. He was at a crossroads. He was just like, he just didn't know, he was losing himself. So he checked in and did a 30-day rehab. So Andy was asking, well, was this what he wanted to do? Because, we do know that, if you're not ready to go to rehab, you won't stay. And she said, no, he was ready. So he's good now. He has changed his friends. He's home more and he's hangs around her more. And he still goes to AA classes, frequently, and he's met friends at those groups. So that's good. And so Andy brought up what really made him, because he's crying at this moment, and he has this cute little blue box, and he is passing out tissue because Whitney needed it, Mary needed it, Angie she was kind of keeping her cool. Bronwood was keeping her cool, and I believe them other cows on that other on that other couch, they weren't crying. I think Lisa teared up a little bit, but they all got to say something. So he felt like a stain. And Andy said he thinks that's what just shook him up, and feeling like a stain, like you don't belong. And I'm like, for me, it was the unseasoned chicken, honey. He said the illegal stuff is the seasoning, honey. And I said, well, bland my chicken, honey. Bland my chicken. Boil it, bland it. Don't put nothing on it. I don't want no seasonings. No, 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 no. And then they say how Robert Jr. is just beautiful. He's smart, intelligent, and he's worthy. And I really liked the way Mary described her son, just how she speaks of him. You can hear the love she has for her one and only. Andy said, well, it seemed like you was beating yourself up a bit. And she said, of course, I want to give him the best, better than what I've had. I want to give him the world. Then she tells us she moved to New York for 8 years for him to be in the best schools. And so she talks how, she was raised. She was like the only African American in her classes. And when they would play slave movies, they would look at her and she just would have nothing to give them. Like, why y'all looking at me? So Angie cheers for Mary. She really was there. She's hugging her, holding her hand, Bronwyn gives her props, too. And so Andy asks, how is Robert Sr. handling this? And so she said he was broken, and so he told her he commends her for being on the show and he's proud of her and she's a great mom. And I'm like, oh. And then Lisa says that Robert Jr. is a great boy and she's a great mom. And Heather says, yes, Robert Jr. is a great kid. Thank you, Heather, for calling a black boy a kid. Lisa, you cannot call a black man a boy. But we get where you were coming from. But I don't know. You kind of got Karen vibes too. It's not boy, it's kid. Okay. Listen to her. I thought you were schooling people. So Angie talks about how great of a friend Mary is and how she's learned so much from her. And Whitney is a little triggered because she is over there crying a river because she hasn't talked to her dad, who is on the seasoning too. We ain't seen him since season 1. And her kids, she watched those clips of Mary and Rob Jr. She watched them with her kids. So did Heather. Heather said she watched them with her daughters. And so Whitney says her children now understand why they don't have a grandpa. Wow. Wow. So, okay, I'm going to call the illegal substances, I'm going to call it seasoning, guys. I'm going to call it seasoning. So Andy says he wants to switch it up and make it more lighthearted. So he says, Mary, you were more engaging this season. Something's different about you. What's going on? So she says, having a friend at Angie has made her clock in. So Andy gonna say, well, I ain't trying to be messy. I ain't trying to start nothing, but what about Meredith? That was your friend. Yeah, but Meredith is friends with Lisa, and that's the problem. Oh, that's not what Mary said, huh? She was thinking it though. So Mary says, we're very different. Meredith is a beautiful person and friend, but she's a busy woman. She's always traveling, and our lives are different. So Meredith is like, well, I wish I was there for you more. And so production shows some loving text messages that Meredith sent to Mary in lieu of, Robert Jr. going through what he was going through. And so she says she loves Mary and her family. And then they asked Meredith, is she jealous of Angie and Mary's new friendship? And she says, absolutely not. She said, no. So Watch What Happens Live, it was asked to Mary, does she think that Meredith is jealous? And Meredith said, if she cares about me, she would be. What? She said, if she cares about me, she would be. Okay, Mary. So, I think Andy said you guys' friendship seemed like it fell apart at Mary's brunch. So Meredith is like, it was a lot going on. I felt like I was under attack. And it was just one of those clashing moments. And so they replay, Mary telling her and Angie to be quiet. And she could not control them because Oprah ain't gonna stop talking. Oprah, you can't get Oprah to be quiet. And then Meredith was challenging her with them bangs. So Mary was like, you can leave. And it wasn't like she was kicking Meredith out the house. This is what she explained too tonight on Watch What Happens Live. She was like, I was trying to get them to be quiet and let me talk. And if you're not going to control yourself, then you have to leave my house if you do not gain control of yourself. And so they make fun and say, oh, it must have been those bangs. And so Mary says, well, they were some type of suffering. They were some type of suffering. Dang, they were hideous. And so Meredith said, you know what? I ain't worried about them bags. You can say what you want to say. Others have said worse. And honey, she gets her list out on everything she remembers that has been said about her. They was like, you get, Whitney asked her, do you take notes after each episode? She was like, no, I just ran some stuff down today about what I know. So then Angie over there teasing her, let me get my scroll out. You remember Angie's scroll from like episode 1 or 2? So Meredith gets to rambling, child. I have been called an addict, sorry, a cheater, homeless, mentally unstable, next level psychotic disassociation. I've been called a snitch, a liar, a multi-personality disorder. My appearance has been talked about. My hearing aids have been talked about. I've been called a bad mother, a grudge holder, a whore, and I play victim. Everybody's face was like, wow. Heather did a little laughing at one of them darn things. And it was like, oh, catch the tea on her, Meredith, catch the tea. But everybody was like, wow. It was a lot, right? So Angie asked, well, what have you said about people? Because you do go low. I said, get it in, Angie, get it in. So Meredith felt that Meredith felt like Mary used her. And so they like, wait, what? So Meredith is trying to clean it up. In that moment, I felt like you were using me. Why? Because I was the only one around. Mary, like, I don't use nobody. I stand alone. That's not in my character. You're going to take that back. I told you it was just in that moment. So Mary say, come here, Meredith, give me a hug. They stand up and they hug. And then Mary asks Meredith, did your boobs get smaller? And they're like, yeah, you remember I had the surgery. And then someone's like, I think it was Lisa. She had the surgery at the beginning of the episode, at the beginning of the season. Remember? And they all kept talking about how they're going to grow back. They all say that they're going to grow back eventually. So when she walks over to Meredith, she tells Angie, you got to get it right with Meredith because I love her. And Angie said, that's why we're here. And that was the end of part 2 reunion, besties. It was good. I was here for it. I enjoyed it. And I look forward to next week's episode. It's the last one. And we got Brittany. I wish Jared would show up. That would be so awesome if they both came. Oh, that would be so good. But besties, drop down in the comments. Let me know what you thought about tonight's episode. It was good. 10, 10, 10 from me. And I'll be back with another review. Bye, besties.